Here we go. Stars. There we go. Of course, I have to wait for something to buffer. That's always the way.
Make it move, 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 make it.
Is that even the song? That's what Google pulled up.
That is the song.
It is. Okay. Is it funny that I don't know his music enough to know whether or not it's the current one? I just don't know too much about Titus Thaddeus. I like that. His real name was Thaddeus, so they made him Titus. It's a good fake name to have, from a Thaddeus to a Titus. But this is, of course, Titus O'Neil's theme. We'll give it a little more juice for you. Why not? It's not bad. It's actually not bad. Of course, the reason we're playing this is his wonderful entrance to the greatest Royal Rumble, and we'll get into that too. Greatest Royal Rumble, Monday Night Raw, and then SmackDown coming up tonight. But oh man, that might be the most memorable thing of the greatest Royal Rumble. Is that fall? What do you think, Steve?
Well, apparently, when he went back through the curtain afterwards, apparently Vince McMahon had tears streaming down his face, and he was belly laughing.
I believe it.
And of course, now they're going to turn it into merchandise. So, and it looks like now they're going to do this whole clumsy kind of deal with Titus, and he's going to play into it. So, I mean, why the hell not? I think it's hilarious.
And I know there's been a lot of comparisons made, and they've have the action figure of the Shockmaster passing the torch to Titus. He needs to incorporate something from. I'm not saying wear the helmet, but maybe put it on your trunks or put it on your entrance gear or something. The Shockmaster helmet. Or
that would be so funny.
They need to get Uncle Fred. That's what Dusty used to call Uncle Fred. They get Uncle Fred out there, Fred Ottman, and do something with him and Titus on a show. That would be a wonderful little bit of continuity to bring Shockmaster back for this.
That would be so great. That would be so great. I mean, it really was one of the best moments of the entire show. But we should definitely dive into the greatest Royal Rumble, because there was a lot of negative talk about the actual show, and I finally got through it today. And first of all, the place is magnificent. I mean, what did they cram? 60,000 people in there. It was cool to see this happen, even though there are some certain circumstances that still kind of suck, but it is what it is, and you have to kind of roll through it. But overall, I thought it was one hell of a show. I mean, some of the finishes really did suck, and there were a hell of a lot of botches, one of them, of course, being Titus, but there were quite a number of other ones throughout the show. But yeah, overall, I didn't hate it at all. I mean, the finishes, some of them.
Right.
You know, I mean, Bray and Hardy, winning the tag titles was great. I don't know. It was a very cool. Some of the matches, like Triple H John Cena, was a great match, opening the show too, which you don't see often.
And I thought it was funny that they did. I looked away and I looked back up, and they were doing the old Roman knuckle lock spot. From like the 80s, they did the Hogan Warrior thing. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the first match, and they're digging into that. I know exactly what kind of style we're going to be working the rest of the night.
Right.
So, I don't know if you've noticed, Eric, for those of you watching the show on YouTube, Eric's face is here. His soul is here. But his voice is not. We don't know why, but he's not. Eric, maybe try logging in on your mobile device.
Ooh. That's an interesting idea.
Switch from the laptop onto your mobile device, and even if you can't do video, which you probably can, but you could probably do just audio, hold it like a phone. Oh, he's back. Hi, can you talk? Oh, he can't talk.
The voiceless.
Like, I don't know. Keep moving your lips. Be like, I don't know. I tried restarting it. I cleared my cache. I cleared the cookies. I don't know what to do. Is that racist?
Not at all.
Okay. All right. Good. So we're gonna get Eric working on this so he can speak. If Ryan is listening, Ryan, help us. Ryan, the intern, if you're available, we need you to screen share with Eric and figure out what we're doing to get him live. All right. He's also going to try his phone. But we are the War Report, brought to you by TagMeADate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for fans of professional wrestling. It is free to sign up. You can search all over the world our roster of superstars and divas. And I do mean all over the world. It is open registration. There is free messaging. You upload a profile picture or you can upload a promo video. Send some messages, send some emojis, whatever you want to do. It's free at tagmeadate.com. And you know that they're going to be wrestling fans. Hence, they are on Tag Me a Date. So it's a perfect opportunity for someone who may enjoy wrestling and has had a hard time finding a partner that enjoys wrestling to find that partner. So go for it. Free to sign up, tagmeadate.com. But we'll get back into this greatest, Diet Pepsi. My Diet Pepsi, John. No, so we are in the middle of the greatest Royal Rumble. Yeah, the John Cena Triple H match was pretty much in like a 1987 house show, but that's okay. This was a house show, and these people are just entering the 80s, I believe, so it's okay.
How's this?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Got Eric. Excellent. So did you guys hear, and I think I shared this article, the rumor, and I don't want to say this is true, but it's hilarious if it's true, is that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia requested the Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna be a part of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, apparently they didn't know that they are no longer with us.
Yeah. So I news doesn't travel that quickly in that part of the world, I suppose. Eric, you had the line of the day when I posted that article. Can you let the people know what you said?
I don't remember.
You said, what, do they live in a cave or something?
Oh yeah. Then I said, oh wait.
Yeah, and that was that. Like I said, that was line of the day. Did they live in a cave or something? Because they might, but it was really good.
No, but it's like you said though. A simple Google search can enlighten.
Yeah, like you would think. Oh, I'm a really big fan of the Ultimate Warrior. And he's doing. I wonder what he's up to. Let's follow him on Twitter. Like something, for fuck's sake. You've got phone. Like these people go into a mall in the United States and buy 25 iPhones and send them back to their country. You can't take 2 seconds to use one of them shits and find out if the Ultimate Warrior is still alive. Come on, man. Other thoughts? I mean, okay. Let's get this one out of the way. AJ Shinsuke, great match, but the fucking finish killed it dead.
Shitty finish.
Hated it.
Wow.
Hated it. Google it, kids. How would you even Google that one? Hate. You just would have hated it with a bunch of A's.
Just search for In Living Color.
In Living Color. Hated it. Yeah, I was a fan. I'm a fan of these two guys. Why can't, and they've put on good matches before. Why can't we get one?
How does AJ not wear a cup by now?
Yeah, you think he'd catch on.
I have to tell you, though, I am absolutely loving Shinsuke as a heel.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the new shakeup of his music.
That's cool.
Especially him having them add the lyrics to prevent the crowd from singing along. Everything about it is great. He's playing it really well. It's
yeah, he's making the necessary adjustments here because I think, and again, it's the certain subset of TV watchers who are going to cheer him more now that he's more interesting rather than boo him. But I think they've got a strong enough baby face in AJ Styles. It's not like if he was heel, if Shinsuke was heel going against Roman Reigns, he was just going to get cheered. At least now he's going to get booed because AJ's like, this scrappy character, and he came from TNA and worked his way up to the WWE World Championship. So he's got a great story that works well with Shinsuke turning heel. But yeah, on the flip side, Shinsuke turning heel against almost anybody else wouldn't work.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, I think this was just done perfectly.
Yeah, I think it was done because now that he's a heel, he can go feud with other baby faces. But
right.
The initial turn had to be nobody. I was there. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
He gave him the Oh, there's how many different names are they call the Kakshasa? The Peen Shasa? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to call it. Yeah. Oh no, it's just I saw a Photoshop. If I could try and find it, it says statue of Shinsuke Nakamura unveiled for next year's WrestleMania, and they cut him. It's him giving the old dick uppercut. It looks like it's a bronze statue of him giving AJ a low blow, and I'm just like, yeah, people would pose in front of that at WrestleMania. Just the old dick uppercut.
That's so funny.
There's your new yearly statue right there.
Yes, forget Andre the Giant. We want the dick uppercut. Did you guys hear? I got to play this clip from Monday Night Raw before I forget. I'm gonna turn the volume up. It's very, very short.
I like that butt.
All right, I'm gonna turn up a little bit louder.
I like that butt.
That's Finn.
Yeah.
I like that butt.
I noticed that right away.
Yeah, I like that butt. Sure you do. He was wearing a rainbow shirt staring at Seth Rollins saying, I like that butt. But the greatest Royal Rumble, okay, we should... There was good stuff to it, I agree. The finish of the cage match, I liked in theory. The idea of spearing him through the cage and Roman Reigns costs himself the victory. That's great. It didn't shake out that way, and now they're spinning it like, oh, Roman deserves another match because the 2 feet didn't hit the floor. It's so... we really going to do this again? I mean, because
that's what I said. It's like you're sitting here and you're saying, oh, fuck.
Because now we're spinning our wheels. We can already kind of foresee it. He's going to beat Joe at Backlash, and then he's going to come out on Monday night, and he's going to say, cheer me or boo me, I'm still the big dog, and this is my yard. Boo.
You know what, though? But that's
and
another
go
thing.
Right back to it.
So Joe finally comes back. His first big fight since his return, and he's going to lose again. He's going to – I mean, it's just what the fuck? Joe should not be losing matches, especially big profile matches.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's – there's an ebb and flow to this stuff. I think they need to have Roman go back. Like, remember when he was Intercontinental Champion and then he had to, like, build his way back up? He needs to go back down and cycle him out. Put Joe in there. Joe can fight Brock again, or he could fight Braun. Joe could fight fucking anybody. He could fight Donald Duck, and I'd buy that pay-per-view. I don't give a shit.
The only way I see Joe going over is if Brock interferes and costs Roman the match.
Yeah. But that definitely means we're getting Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar again.
But we are.
Oh.
Why not just have Joe take it from Brock at this point?
How about anybody?
Or
how about
anybody?
Braun fucking Strowman, exactly.
Braun Strowman is so hot right now. to quote, what's his name? Ben Stiller. So hot right now.
I wouldn't even be upset if Reigns had already fucking won the title, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing, though. What you don't understand until you see it live is that there is I don't want to say it's like church, but there's a catharsis happening in the crowd when Roman Reigns comes out and everybody boos at the same time. It's an unspoken acknowledgement from the person next to you and the person in the next section over and the person across from you. You all have this feeling, not towards Joe Anoa'i, who's a very nice guy and a father and donates to charity and all that shit, but the idea of Roman Reigns and the booking of Roman Reigns and the character of Roman Reigns and the way that the WWE has decided to progress his story. There's just an unspoken, we don't like this amongst it's like we don't like this collectively, and we're going to feed this here until we change something. It just, I've booed wrestlers before. I've been in a lot of wrestling shows where a lot of guys get booed. There's something different. You can feel it. Like it's a tingle. You can feel the dislike of Roman Reigns. It's palpable. It's almost like you could form it into a ball and hold it.
You know what it is, though? At this point, I don't think it's necessarily...
And it's not necessarily
that people hate Roman Reigns. I think it's at this point, people just know the inevitable is going to happen and they don't want it. You know?
Even in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
That was the surprise. We were like, this is the perfect opportunity.
Surprise.
You know, these people live in a cave, according to Eric. We can just do the old switcheroo on them and they'll be happy.
Right.
Nope. So yeah, I don't know where we go with this unless we're just going. We're everybody's spinning their wheels until SummerSlam, which is 3 months away. Why do we need to spin our wheels for 3 months?
Well, right. So does that mean? I mean, there's. I guess it's very plausible that we don't see Brock now until SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's very possible that we don't. Unfortunately,
They want him to beat Punk's record, maybe.
Yeah, that might be it. How about Money in the Bank? We never. That's coming up. So maybe we have a Money in the Bank contender.
Well, there you go.
That can switch things up. If
Does
Joe
Braun Strowman win Money in the Bank this year?
That would be impressive. If Braun or Joe or even Rollins again, fuck it, he's over. He's way bigger than the Intercontinental title. I don't know why there's no reason for Seth Rollins to be the Intercontinental Champion.
I agree with that.
I flip-flop on Seth Rollins a lot because Seth Rollins he's very good. There's just something about if you really like a cereal and then you eat too much of that cereal, you get sick of it. Or like you drink too much of one beverage and one booze, and then the next day you're sick. You're like, that's too much. I need to switch to something else. There's just something about Seth Rollins where after like 6 months, I'm like, okay, do something different.
Right.
But he's right now, he's the hottest he's ever been since maybe he won that world title at WrestleMania. But he's just so over, and you can feel it. That's another thing you can just see in the crowd now. I mean, and Finn's over too, but Seth is just on this other fucking level right now.
Well, they're sort of teetering now on a Finn Balor potential heel turn.
Yeah, it looked like that to me too.
I'm okay with that because
I am too.
He needs something. He smiles too fucking much.
He can even smile as a heel, though.
He could, and it could be different, like Sami Zayn's sarcastic dancing.
Right, exactly.
You notice he didn't wear the rainbow attire at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I told you.
He wanted to keep his head attached to his shoulders. He didn't need one of those big, long scimitar things coming at him. Because, I don't know, maybe you've heard of this one. Arya Davari received death threats for coming out as pro-Iranian, anti-Saudi during the show. And then he posted something on Twitter like, guys, it's all a show. I'm like, yeah, but the difference is you didn't film it in the United States and like edit it like the West Wing and you put it together like a TV show. You flew to their fucking country and put 100,000 people there, and then you talked shit about them. And then you want to be, guys, it's just a show. Well, it's just a show, but you're there. You are in Saudi Arabia. Fucking, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, but
these well-adjusted people were going to
put them there, not them, probably.
I know, and it's not. I'm not saying it's Davari's fault, but the I was just playing a character. Don't send death threats thing to me is kind of like, dude, like, what did you fucking think was going to happen? If you weren't prepared for death threats, don't do it, because that's if somebody just walked up to me before Friday and said, the Davari brothers are going to be pro-Iranian, anti-Saudi on Friday, and they're going to fly a big Iranian flag and talk shit to some Saudi Arabian people. I'd say those guys aren't going to leave the country. They're going to pull them off the plane, and they're going to be detained, and then they're going to be beheaded on camera. That's what I would think.
These are the type of countries you don't do that kind of thing.
Again, because they've lived under a goddamn rock for so many. They're finally letting women. I think they finally gave women driver's licenses. And they're finally letting them wear jobs.
There's commercials about it saying, "Oh, they're very progressive now because there were women in the audience." Well, there weren't women wrestling. So
and the Saudi government apologized for a commercial that had Carmella in it with her. She was wearing her wrestling gear.
I saw that. I mentioned that during the show. I'm like, okay, there's going to say something about that.
And that's shitty too because it's all about the follow-up. The first show, I understand we have to adhere to the old ways. If there's no progression over the next couple shows, if they don't allow women to wrestle in the show, if they don't integrate, because the crowd was segregated several ways. The front few rows, if you notice the people weren't really reacting. Those were the rich people who bought the seats because they're rich and they could. And they brought probably their sons or daughters or whoever, their family members who watched wrestling, and they just kind of sat there on they had these big couches for them.
All the royalty.
Right. And if you there was a big gap on the floor because it's like a big soccer stadium. There was a big gap from the couches all the way. Then there were no seats, and then the bowl started. So you could see, and they had the common people were up in the bowl. They couldn't be on the floor. Only the floor seats were on there, but there weren't a bunch of floor seats. And then they had the common people, but the common people, I believe, were separated into men and women and women with their children. I believe it was segregated that way. If it's wrong, somebody correct me in the chat. But that's what I heard, and I think there has to be a progression. The next show, we have to have a women's match. The next, if Saudi Arabia is,
not gonna happen.
I know it's not, but I'm saying if Saudi Arabia is serious, and I'm getting into some Fox News geopolitical bullshit right now, but if Saudi Arabia really wants to show that they are progressing as a people and progressing as a culture, show that you're willing to do that. You've accepted a Western form of entertainment. That's fantastic. How about the next time you accept the full form of that entertainment and use that as a way? And I'm not going to say it's like Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier, but it would be pretty fucking important to have a women's match in Saudi Arabia for the WWE. That would it would break geopolitical and cultural barriers that could potentially be busted wide open for centuries to come. It could be it could be nothing, but it could be something important. So why don't we work towards that?
I mean, in a perfect world, you're 100% right. But
Somebody send Linda McMahon. She's on the cabinet. God damn it.
you know what's funny too? If anyone could get it done, it'd probably be Linda McMahon.
Oh, for fuck. Absolutely. They'd have to play the music though. Oh, they could do it the next show in November, the Greatest Survivor Series or whatever the fuck they end up calling it. Linda comes out right at the beginning of the show and like calls out the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. You know, she just comes to the ring and like I think she could do it. If you're right, if anybody could do it, it would be Linda.
Who could say no to Linda?
Well, all the voters of the state of Connecticut who didn't vote her in.
Well,
I
sure.
was not.
Twice.
I voted for her twice. I understood she wasn't going to win. It was more of a protest vote. I did not care for the other candidates that she was facing, so I figured she was the better choice. She didn't win, but hey, look where she ended up now. So who really won in the end? Who?
That's true. That's very true.
She fucking won in the end, man. Never held a political office. Boom, cabinet. There we go. Small business administration. Although she's the person for the small business administration.
She's the only one that's qualified for her job in the whole cabinet.
Out of everybody, she probably is. She's the staff doctor now. That's what I heard. They made her the
She's certainly more qualified for hers than Betsy DeVos is for hers.
Oh, Betsy DeVos. She's in there to shut that department down, guaranteed. They're going to try and shut down DOE. Anyway, so the Greatest Royal Rumble event, I think, is just the next one. It's all about the next one for me. I want to see if they evolve and if they progress and if they try and do anything progressive with the next couple shows that come up, or if they just stay status quo for 10 years. I
don't know if I wanted them to do it again.
They have a 10-year contract. 10 years.
Wasn't it like 10-year, $40 million contract?
Some ridiculous number that you couldn't turn down.
I'm sorry, Allah.
Dude, can you imagine the phone? Vince must have been doing cartwheels down the hall of Titan Tower when he got that phone call from somebody. Yeah, we want Greatest Royal Rumble. He's like, pal, you can have whatever you want.
And I think
right.
I could be wrong, but I think they use the word greatest, not as in the best ever, but great as in a large number.
Yeah, it's a literal
like
translation. There's probably a really cool phrase in Saudi that instead of greatest, they use like grandest, largest number. There's a specific phrase or word that they use for their marketing and their commercial. You know what I mean? There's going to be a phrase that they have.
The biggest Royal Rumble.
the girthiest Royal Rumble. What other words? Like that's just I don't know what other word you the great. I guess it was
the huge Royal Rumble.
The huge, really, really huge Royal Rumble. It's ridiculous. But what are they going to do? Is it going to be a 40-on-40 for the Survivor Series in November? What are they going to do for that? 80-man Survivor Series, everybody from the roster and NXT, and throw in a couple independent guys.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with this one.
Who knows, man?
So here's something I wanted to bring up.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted to see if it was just me.
All right.
Has anyone noticed the lack of enthusiasm from the crowd with Bobby Lashley? Like, I feel like Bobby was he was a much bigger deal than people are making him out to be his last run. And it's almost like people did forget about Bobby Lashley. Like, I feel like the crowd just doesn't.
It's been a decade
behind him.
There are a couple things behind this.
I think maybe he should be on SmackDown.
Maybe, but it doesn't matter what brand he's on if they don't do anything with him. Sticking him in a tag team with Braun, what does that do for Bobby Lashley? He's strong. He's very strong. But in kayfabe and on TV, Braun's bigger, Braun's stronger. Why does a guy that big need to hang out with a guy that's fucking bigger than him? Right. Like, they just do. If he came out and had a singles run and didn't have to partner with Braun, or maybe he went against Braun, or he went against somebody else, I don't know. And also I think the aside from the booking is he used to come out to different music. They should have used his old music, and he had pyro when he did his arm thing. So
right. Well,
they took away. So the presentation, there was something lost in the presentation, because there might have been fans who watched 10 years ago who would have recognized Bobby Lashley's old music and gotten a pop, just like when you use the old Hardy Boys music, people know that, or the NWO music, people know that, Booker T's song. Yes, yes. It's a familiarity thing, and I think they fucked up Drew McIntyre because they don't use his old song. They gave him a new song.
Yeah.
He that old song would fit him. Not that the new one doesn't, I guess, but the old one was just, I would have preferred that. So I think there were a couple things hamstringing Bobby Lashley. Plus, look at the top of the card. You can't have Bobby Lashley as like the fucking U.S. champion or something, or just competing on the undercard. He has to be a main event guy because of the way he looks and the way, his size and all that stuff. But then at the top of the card, you've got Roman and Brock. You've got Braun. You've got too many guys. There's just too many top-level guys. Seth and Finn, if you want to make them main eventers and challenge for a title. Samoa Joe. Bobby Roode. I mean, there's a lot of main event talent right now, no matter which side of which brand you're on.
Yeah, maybe they'll have a tag team, the Bobbies.
I know it would. Listen, not to demote the guy, but wouldn't it be a hell of a thing if he just went down to NXT, won the title, and held it for like a year? And he was just,
I don't know about.
He was just like the heel, like a heel Bobby Lashley who just went down and beat the shit out of the NXT guys for a while until somebody like knocks him. Like he could be the Brock of NXT. Somebody knocks him down. I'm trying to think of what do you do with Bobby Lashley? Okay, it sounds like a song from a musical. What do you do with Bobby Lashley?
And he became so much better since he came. He's
you turn him heel and you have him feud with Braun Strowman.
Oh, could you imagine the segment where they each just start flipping things over, and the things they flip over get bigger and bigger? It starts with like a chair, and then like a folding table, and then like the announce desk, and then somebody goes over and flips the ring over, and somebody grabs an ambulance, and then a dump truck, and then a cement mixer, and like you just keep going higher and higher until like one of them knocks over one of those cell phone towers. I think it would be a good. They could. Braun climbs it like King Kong, holding Alexa Bliss in one hand.
Well, Braun tweeted Wendy's and saying they messed up his order, and then they go back and say, "We'll get this fixed. Hopefully, you don't flip our restaurant over."
They should make that into a Wendy's commercial. Not the part where he's mad at their customer service.
That ride-along was fantastic.
Who is Alexis married to Buddy Murphy? Who's Alexa married to? Yeah, that poor bastard. Murphy. How? And again, I'm sure.
And then the other guy is married to Sarah Lee from Tough Enough.
But what I'm saying about Buddy Murphy is, and I'm sure they've known each other a long time and they love each other very much, and there's an unspoken bond there, or else they wouldn't be married. But isn't there just a little twinge of insecurity when you see a guy Braun Strowman size flirting with your fucking wife on television for months and months? Every night the crowd loves it. She's feeding them fucking French fries while they're driving to the next town. I would be furious. I don't care how big that guy is. I'd still be mad.
He's like, I didn't even want fries. I just wanted you to feed me.
They're like, Ryback, how'd you get in here? That would have been, oh my God. They need to bring back Ryback as Robbie Lashley. like the Dudleys. Bobby and Robbie Lashley, and because they're basically palette swaps. Like, you change the color a little bit and change the tights. It's basically the same guy, right? They could totally be a tag team. Oh shit! I figured it out. What do you do with Bobby Lashley? You put him in a team with Ryback. Fuck yeah! They can hold people up for suplexes for like 20 minutes.
I think Ryback has burned that bridge.
I think Ryback's burned every bridge. I love you, Ryback. Don't hurt me, but you've burned every bridge.
Yeah, I think that,
and he knows it too.
Oh, he knows. I mean, he plays into it. He knows. He's doing other things. He's you can't. He's doing
the big
well,
guy.
I'm sure. The big guy. He legally changed his name to Ryback. That's some fucking commitment.
Hey, Warrior did it.
I know. Dana Warrior. Like, imagine applying for like a bank account or something. You're like buying your cell phone. First name Dana. D-A-N-A. Last name Warrior. Could you spell that? No, it's like it sounds.
Well, wasn't the Warrior?
He was Warrior.
He was Warrior.
Why didn't he make his first name The?
Or Warrior 2.
Makes his first name D-A. The Warrior. So what happened on Raw? I mean, I watched most of Raw. I think I skipped the first hour because I was making food or something. But I watched most of Raw. And
we've moved on to Titus versus Baron Corbin.
Which is fine because
it gets what's his name?
Corbin cut a pretty damn good promo on Raw, actually.
Corbin has all of the physical tools in terms of athletic ability. Right? There we go. And I appreciate
he does nothing for me.
He has a face that you just want to punch. And I really appreciate that about him because you need a guy like that. You need somebody with a punchable face. Definitely. And he's got it. But everything else, like his sloppy titties and stupid vest and his stringy hair, like everything about him just needs to go. Like shave your head, wear a singlet or something to cover up those knockers and that sad belly button that looks like your torso's frowning. Just switch it up a little bit.
Give him like the Road Warrior Hawk mohawk thing.
I like Baron Corbin.
I think there's
he bores me.
He's like a rough piece of marble that we need to carve into a wrestler. He's almost there. He really is. He's almost there. The look is atrocious. I will never get over that. The look is awful. But yeah, he's developed as a promo. He's gotten way better as a wrestler. He's just, he's
gotten more comfortable.
Yeah, he's still like the mayonnaise of the WWE. You know, it's like I don't know how else to describe it.
I like what they did because it got No Way Jose his little win, so they can get away from that and move Baron to something different, and then Jose something different, and then that way, his debut is not,
I feel so bad and glad for No Way Jose at the same time because this is a guy who you can imagine spent how many years eating right and training and getting in shape and learning how to wrestle and honing his craft for a decade or so. And he gets the big call and he trains at NXT for 2 or 3 years and then they put him out there. No way, Jose. It's like,
I think
he made it and then boom.
I think his debut and all the pay-per-views should be a conga line, but we don't need a conga line all the time.
He should do a fan conga line. That would be the move.
This is gonna fizzle out like Adam Rose.
Like Adam, yeah.
Although I blame Adam Rose not getting over because they changed the song. The song they
did change the song.
They had a song
in NXT,
right, that people could sing along to. I guess it was a it was an actual song by a band and they didn't want to license it, so they made a sound alike, and it wasn't as good because everybody already knew the melody of the other one and would sing it during his deal. And that kind of killed it. And just, I mean, where do you go with a guy that hangs out with a fucking bunny?
You know, it's
guys,
funny. We were go ahead.
I hate to cut this short. I am gonna run out about now. I'm gonna try to catch Avengers because I feel like any day now someone's gonna spoil it.
Oh, it's gonna be me or Ryan.
Yeah,
accidentally.
So I got 8:30. I'm gonna take off. But,
well, enjoy.
Well, I'll tell you off because I'm seeing it on Sunday.
And I will not say anything because I'm a good person.
There you go. Don't spoil it. Thanos demands your silence. Have fun.
All right, take it easy.
You know, it's funny. We were just talking about Bobby Lashley and you know, what do you do with him? So there's a Meltzer from Bleacher Report is saying that Lashley was under the influence. He'd be facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam when he signed the new deal. Lesnar has not yet been booked for the show. So
yeah, Eric, you got to hang up, buddy. We can hear your pocket. We can hear your pocket. Okay. I thought you had it in your pocket. We're driving away. I was going to be like, oh, no, we get to hear his whole trip with North Carolina radio on in the background. But, yeah, here's the thing of Bobby Lashley. Get that shit in writing. Before, like, if I had a contract and they said, don't worry, pal, you're going to be wrestling Brock. I owe you one. No. We've heard that shit before. Get that shit. Get it in writing.
Seriously.
And have a backup plan. Like think if I'm Bobby Lashley and I'm protecting my gimmick and I'm protecting my image, if Brock's like, you sign with the intention of wrestling Brock, knowing that plans change in wrestling 99% of the time. Have a backup plan. Who do you feud with instead of Brock? Pick somebody. I don't know, fucking Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, Mojo Rawley. I don't know. Pick some. Just have a backup. Have something in mind for yourself, so that when they inevitably screw you over, you can at least have some kind of suggestion to get yourself in the mix. Because it did look like he was going to make a big debut, the Raw after WrestleMania, and then go right into the title picture, and it didn't happen.
Well, part of the debut on Raw was a social media botch. Because one of the idiots there had Lashley's Titantron up on his computer monitor. Somebody snapped a picture,
yeah.
And it went viral before they went live, so everybody knew he was coming out.
Yeah, I mean, but does that build anticipation, or is that a spoiler? Like, I mean, it spoils it, but does that make less people tune in or make them less excited? I guess because it wasn't as much of a surprise, you wouldn't get as much of a pop.
It took the shock value away. Yeah. You know.
I wonder how many people in that arena that night were that well into it. Like, how many people were on their phones checking that stuff? But it probably, I assume that affected it, but it would just be interesting, you know, if you could have like you ever wonder like certain things in your life, you're like, oh man, I wonder how many hairs I have on my head or how many dimples are on a basketball, that shit. If you could just know and have a poll of like those people who, you know, how many people were plugged in on their phones right before the show started, because like a couple, and this is years ago, so the cell phones were still very prevalent, but it wasn't as big of a thing to be just constantly on them, except me because I'm ADD. But it was a hardcore homecoming show or hardcore Extreme Rising. That was it. It was an Extreme Rising show, one of the first ones, and it was in Philly at the Armory, South Philly, and we're waiting for the show. The show doesn't start on time. People are waiting. What's going on? And then you get that news report that Sabu overdosed on drugs and was being rushed to the hospital because he was overdosing. And then you hear that PJ, who's in recovery now, congratulations, just incredible. He was drunk and they had to kick him out, or he was stoned. He got stoned with Sabu. Whatever the fucking case was, there was a whole bunch of shit that dropped during the waiting period for the show to start. And it I looked and I'm like, TMZ is saying Sabu might be dead. And then all of a sudden you hear other little bits and pockets of chatter like, oh, Sabu, something happened to Sabu overdosed. And like, by the time Shane Douglas got out there, he was basically had to cut a promo saying, yeah, listen, the things that you're reading online are true. Sabu isn't dead, but he did have a drug overdose, etc. He explained the whole thing. So I wonder if that affected the pop. It probably did affect the reaction the crowd gave to Bobby Lashley. And Sabu now, of course, is fine, and PJ's in recovery. But it was just, that was like, what, 2000, I want to say 2013, 2014. It was just weird because it was one, like, TMZ is like, pro wrestler Sabu overdoses, and it like made it like sound like he was dead. So you're sitting there in the crowd going, well, I just paid $75 for a second row seat, and one of the guys might be dead. So it was just, it's surreal. So I wonder how much, because here's the thing, at WrestleMania, not really great service. It's just, you're in a dome, there's a lot of people. I wasn't getting great cell service. I could really only send messages like Facebook Messenger. I wasn't checking the internet because that would take up too much time, and I was trying to watch the show.
Right.
But yeah, I that's an interesting thought, that the spoiler, depending on how long it took to get out.
You know what it is? The shock value is the biggest thing. It's like, look at the Hardys when they came out at Mania.
It was wonderfully done.
Nobody knew. I mean, they were at Ring of Honor the night before, so everybody was like, all right, forget it. They're not coming. And they were there. So the combination of their music and then the shock of them actually coming out and being there and then winning.
Yeah, the whole thing was set up beautifully for the Hardys to come back.
But that's the difference.
Yeah, it's... And it is, because here's the thing. I heard, and I was going to go to this event. They had a Hardy barbecue right before WrestleMania, but it was too far from where my hotel was and where the Citrus Bowl or whatever the hell it was, Camping World Center. It just didn't work out distance-wise. I heard a report from the barbecue that a WWE limo pulled up. And when somebody talked to it sounded a little too black helicopters and conspiracy theory. Like, it just sounded too good to be true. Like, it's like, that's a little too on the nose. Of tinted window, limousine pulls up with a WWE sticker or something on it, and they get in and have some secret meeting. I'm like, nah, that's a little conspiracy theory for me. But yeah, it leaked, but it wasn't confirmed because nobody knew what was going on. There was no Titantron leak of the Hardy Boys. Nobody was waiting for the production guy to fuck up. But yeah,
and if you watched on the network, if you watched the behind the scenes thing of the Hardys, and
they got right in.
Yeah, I mean, they take you through it that they were hidden from everybody. Nobody knew, even Michael Cole, the announce team. Nobody knew, so that they could get the fresh reaction. I mean, it was done so well. It really was.
And now the Hardys are split up again. Jeff's back on SmackDown. It feels like all is right with the world if he's on SmackDown. That's his show. Like, some guy like him, The Undertaker. There are a few guys you consider SmackDown their show. Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, even.
And Matt and Bray. I mean, that's a home run.
Oh, the deleters of worlds.
It's fantastic. I love it.
I'm enjoying the pair. I know eventually Bray Wyatt is going to like turn on Matt Hardy or something.
Yeah.
There's going to be some kind of breakup, but it'll lead to more stuff. Maybe this is the rejuvenation that Bray Wyatt needs.
See, I think they're going to prolong this for a little bit, and then when Bray officially does turn, that's when you get Brother Nero back. And then, you get, Senior Benjamin and everybody else, and you do the whole thing.
Yeah, because I don't know. I hate to say I don't talk to a lot of wrestling fans, but I don't really talk to a lot of wrestling fans. I have a lot of Facebook friends that are wrestling fans, and I see their comments, but I don't like message. But aside from you guys in the Facebook chat that we have, I can't really get the temperature of the room on some stuff. So, because Twitter is just a cesspool and YouTube comments are awful. So, I don't know. What was the reaction to the House Hardy match, the deletion match?
It was very mixed.
See, because I was wondering if, as you're saying, they're going to set up Brother Nero, if there's going to be like a tag team apocalypto where Bray gets a tag team partner and Brother Nero and Matt, and then they do it at the compound, or if they said, fuck it, we can't recapture that kind of
What I can tell you is that Vince
lightning the bottle.
McMahon absolutely loved it and
Well,
thought
then,
it was incredible. So that only means that they would do it again. So I could see it happening again. The most talked about part of that match was Brother Nero. For the 5 seconds you got him, but so
it would be really cool if they did do a tag team Apocalypto again, where like the New Day was involved, the Bludgeon Brothers, the Us, like grab a bunch of tag teams and put them on the Hardy compound, and have each of them almost like a video game, where like each part of the Hardy compound, that indoor gym area with the ring, or the one by the lake, or this thing by the graveyard, like each of them has a ring set up, so it's like you're fighting in their level, and then you have to beat that level and go to the next level, and do like a tag team tournament thing there, where the Hardys are trying to go like run through all the tag teams.
I like that.
That would be it, because I feel like the New Day, out of anybody, the New Day would be so good at that exact kind of style that they're going for.
I feel like the New Day is good. They're so adaptable. They can do whatever you want them to do.
Because they've gone from the fucking trombone to booty O's, booty ice cream, whatever the ice cream bar thing was that was on their trunks, and now it's pancakes.
Booty cakes.
Right. They're just doing all of they're doing shit that shouldn't ever get over, and it gets over. So
because they're hilarious.
And the pancake thing just kind of came out of nowhere one day. They're just like, we're going to start pulling pancakes out of random places. All right. And that's just the thing. And now we had the short. I hate calling them short stacks. I feel like that's discriminatory. But the little people in the pancake costumes at WrestleMania.
That was so funny.
Oh, I thought one of them was my friend Short Sleeve Samson, but they were different little people than I assumed.
That's so funny.
What's happening on? We have 5 minutes left. What's happening on SmackDown?
I have absolutely no idea. It's going to be more Shinsuke AJ follow up.
Excellent.
But that's pretty much. I mean, Big Cass.
Big Ass. Yes.
Big Cass cut a hell of a promo last week. You go back and watch it. I was actually very impressed.
And he's another guy that could benefit from just some kind of outfit change. I think he's in better shape now than he was beforehand, but he's still, I don't know, he's got like one nipple is like comically large and droopy, and the other one's kind of normal. So it looks like he's got like a lazy eye titty. I don't know.
Lazy eye.
I don't know what else to call it.
That's so funny.
It's just, it seems like a lazy eye titty. I don't know what to call it. Lazy eye titty. What the fuck? Oh, so, and I'll mention this really briefly. I told you guys in the chat earlier, my mom kind of randomly was talking to somebody from town, and they mentioned they were a big wrestling fan, and then they mentioned some wrestling shows that sounded very familiar in terms of who was working there in the towns. And all. Long story short, the person has been to shows that I've worked before, and they say, "Oh, I'm such a big fan." She doesn't even say the name out loud. This guy goes, I listened to my mom goes, "Oh, my son hosts a podcast on Tuesday nights." And he goes, "Tuesday nights? The War Report?" And it was like, oh shit. So people are listening. And that gentleman, hello, Matt I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Kormoski. Matt Kormoski. If you're listening, hello, sir. Thank you for your patronage. Sign up for Tag Me a Date if you're single. If not, tell your single friends. But thank you for listening, Matt. It's nice to know there's somebody in my town listening. As long as you're not out in the bushes with a cup against the window listening right now, we're good. Thank you for your seriously. It's very cool to know that there's. I never know how many people this reaches. I don't know if nobody watches. I mean, I know you can watch the views, but I mean, I don't know where they come from. I say things and they go out into the ether, and then I'll hear about it weeks later. What do we get some decent views, but I think that's it because we don't know what's going on with SmackDown. SmackDown's going to start.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to start right now.
Evolution is a mystery, as they say. We don't know quite what's going to go on Tuesday night, but we're going to go and watch it now. We actually ended early because there weren't 6 people here, unfortunately. Kat and Amanda couldn't make it, and I don't know about Ryan. I guess Ryan couldn't make it either. Eric, you just saw, he was having some troubles, and then he went to go see the Avengers. So that was it. We had a tight in and out 1-hour show. I won't keep you here any longer. Just get our plugs in. TagMeDate.com is the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. Excuse me as I burp there. So it's the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans, and it is free, absolutely free to sign up and register at TagMeDate.com. You can search our database or our deep, deep roster of superstars and divas from all over the world. Search by favorite wrestler, favorite event, favorite tag team, all kinds of stuff. You can search by location, which is always important to find somebody near you or somebody near where you might be traveling or moving to. And you can upload your profile picture, upload a promo video, send messages. It is all free. There will be iPhone and Android apps forthcoming very soon. We get a lot of traffic to the website. If you doubt the number of people visiting the site, please don't. I'm not going to take a screenshot or anything, but goddamn, there are a lot of hits on this website. There's a lot of eyes on it. So if you're looking for a match and if you're honestly looking to match with somebody, it's a good opportunity. So check out tagmeadate.com before we start charging money, because it will be free, but there will be a premium option eventually. So just prepare yourself for that mentally, that you could be missing out by being a free member. So tagmedate.com. Then Steve has the mute button on. I get it. Every Tuesday, I should do our plug for the channel. Every Tuesday we do the War Report, 7 p.m. on the Eastern time. We spend about an hour here talking wrestling. So you go to youtube.com, type in Tag Me a Date, all one word, Tag Me a Date, into the YouTube search bar. You'll find our Tag Me a Date channel where you can subscribe. Please hit the bell so you know when we go live or upload a new video. And you can follow us on social media at TagMeADate. If you have any questions, you can send them to AskTheWarReport at gmail.com or on social media at TagMeADate and use the hashtag AskTheWarReport. Any of those questions will get you entered into our monthly WrestleRumble.com pick'em, where you will get an entry into WrestleRumbles.com's monthly pay-per-view contest. Lots of great prizes there at WrestleRumble.com. But the important thing is, you sign up for TagMeADate.com, which is free, and you go to the Tag Me a Date YouTube page and subscribe and hit the bell so you can see us every Tuesday, 7 p.m. here on YouTube. We will be back again next week, next Tuesday, 7 p.m. on the Eastern dial. So we will be checking out SmackDown now. I hope you guys have a nice week, and thank you for tuning in.